This is Bob Peskin. I'm the Executive Director of the Minnesota Chorale, and I'm delighted to speak with one of our chorale tenors, David Mennicke. And David, I love the dashiki that you're wearing. That must have a story.
Yeah, this was a gift actually from Sizwe, one of the tenors that was with the Gauteng choristers that we'd met in South Africa on our tour, and who came last November to join us. And he stayed at our house as well, and we swapped. I gave him one of my shirts, and he gave me one of his, and so wonderful people, wonderful memory.
Great. And so you've sung in the chorale for quite a number of years. You've seen a lot of different projects. Obviously, the South African tour and then the return exchange when the Gauteng singers came here was one of those highlights. Were there some other ones that stood out for you?
Yeah. Well, I think things that have stuck out for me, certainly all of the Messiahs that we got to do were lots and lots of fun. The recording projects like the Beethoven's Ninth and the Mahler were really great learning experiences and very worthwhile. Certainly, yeah, that South Africa trip with 2911 and the Gauteng choristers and tying it with the Zomerfest was a thrill. That was really remarkable. I think we had those collaborations, many of them through Kathy's contacts with Oregon Bach Festival with Helmut Rilling, were always really enriching and rewarding to be part of those. In fact, I remember Helmut being with us way back during the election, 2004, and just talking with him about that, and the United States status in the world and how we were looked, and he was just kind of worried about whether we were going to have friends in the world. It was an interesting discussion. Those all the Sommerfest, doing those operas in the summer, those were a lot of fun. Even semi-staging the Fledermaus with a dance. There's a variety of things that we got to do. And there's collaborations. There was those two choirs from Nagasaki, Japan. We did the Ashes into Light piece by Robert Keir. Was very rewarding, and I got to use actually some of that music for my own choir at school too. So those were just a range of things that we've done. It's been remarkable. And I think one thing that, recently that Verdi Requiem that we did was extraordinary. Just I did it it was my third time doing it, and this last time took it to a new height. Yeah. And that Belshazzar's Feast last year was just a thrill. Really marvelous piece. I think one of the things that does strike me really pretty powerfully beyond these musical experiences and these social experiences, I remember when we lost Krista Sandstrom, and she was tragically killed in that car accident, and getting to remember her and celebrate her life and see all the impacts that she had as a chorale family was when we were at the Arboretum up in Roseville. Yeah. It was very moving and very meaningful, and it was just striking how that musical bond also led to an even stronger social, emotional, spiritual bond between the people in the group.
Well, and that's one of the key things about the experience of singing in a choir is the deep connections that we make with one another. And you get that in the chorale, but also your day job is all about that. Can you talk about what you do when you're not singing with us?
Absolutely. Well, I've been at Concordia University in St. Paul as a director of choral studies there since 1989, and thoroughly enjoyed working with my students and my colleagues there. Jerry Spear and Monica Murray was in the chorale as well. People have been involved deeply with the chorale. So wonderful colleagues, delightful students, and lots of great experiences. And it's I direct our Christus chorus as a touring concert choir and coordinate ensembles and work with recruitment and music education and church music. So I'm really immersed. I'm quite blessed that all my life really is built around music. Yep. And I also direct the Bethlehem Chorale and the men's choir at Bethlehem Lutheran Church in South Minneapolis. I've done that since 1996. So yeah, so this whole time away has been, all of that has been, pretty much most all my life.
Right.
I've been
Right.
separated from that. So that's been challenging, but still good to look back and connect and try to make plans for what we'll do in the future. A
Right.
connection between Chorale and my day job is kind of fun. Kathy Romy, who is really one of the most generous choral colleagues that you can imagine, has several occasions invited their college choirs to collaborate with Chorale. So we've done Beethoven's Ninth, we did Schoenberg Leader, we did that premiere of the Reformation piece where some students got invited to be part of that. So
Yep.
it's been that's been a neat value-added thing where my students have been able to be enriched by the connection that I have and that Chorale has with the community.
Yeah. So with this time where we're forced apart because of the pandemic, you talked about making plans. Any words of wisdom for singers or friends of the chorale in terms of how to cope? What's getting you through this?
Well, I do find the opportunities to connect with people and talk with people either online like this or physically distanced in person. Actually, I prefer that if I can manage to meet somebody and go outside at a picnic table and sit 6 feet apart and actually talk to a human being is really very filling, and that helps me a great deal because I'm very social. Listening to music, studying music, thinking about plans. In this time right now, especially with all the after the killing of George Floyd and all the reactions of that, it made me think even more and dig even deeper into how I might respond to that when we come back, and even when we're going to be maybe remotely learning or doing other things, how I can deal with that. So I've actually reached out to some area high school colleagues about possibly looking in the future, seeing if we can do that piece by Thompson, the 7 words of unarmed men,
Right.
with some of these high school groups. Dreaming. So I think the idea for me, even dreaming, thinking about these ideas, planning things that might be possible, I find I've got to do that. I've got to be thinking creatively and looking with hope towards possibilities that, if they don't happen in the fall, then at least I've got ideas and techniques and things that I could use for the future beyond that. So for sure, anything anybody can do to keep singing. Singing feeds the soul. It enriches the body. It does have a physical, emotional, mental health impact. So anything people can do that, find somebody and sing a canon around online with them or something.
Yeah.
Sing outside, sing at home, sing with recordings, but just continue to be doing that, singing with recordings on your own, playing piano. Anything they can do is worth it. And it's a way also you can use that time to, maybe develop some more skills. Find some resources to work on music reading and, playing piano. Looking at some of these scores coming up that you've always, I always wanted to be doing Beethoven Missa Solemnis.
Right.
Or I take and look at the cyber bass and learn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So things like that.
Great. Well, that's great to hear, David, and glad you're keeping your spirits up and helping us to keep ours up as well. So
yeah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate your efforts and the things you're doing.
Okay. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
You take care.